Hey YouTube, Brian's Garage here. Today I am going to do a review and test drive on a 1990 ZR1 Corvette. 1990 was the first year for the C4 ZR1. Came with the famous LT5 4-cam 32 valve. 1990 they put out about 375 horse. This is a hand-built engine co-developed by General Motors and Lotus and hand-built by Mercury Marine. Rated at 375 horse, but driving it you'd kind of think it was underrated. Wouldn't be the first time from General Motors. So yeah, it's has about 12,000 miles on it. Pretty similar to a normal C4 Corvette, but upon closer inspection you can see something's a little different. Red on red. Really are cool cars. All the ZR1s came with the sport seats, which probably some of my favorite seats ever in any car. They're comfortable and, in my opinion, really cool looking. And we've got aftermarket Volante steering wheel with a quick disconnect hub. Kind of makes it for my dad to get in and out of easier. Yeah, 1990 was the first year for the updated interior, which I really like personally. Not knocking the digital dashes for the 84 to 89s, but this is kind of my preference here. That's it, the LT5. All right, let's go for a quick spin here. Car's pretty loaded out with options too. 1990, this was almost a $30,000 option on top of the near $30,000 price point on a regular C4 Corvette. They all came with a slightly different version of the ZF 6-speed. I mean, it shifts like butter. It shifts really nice and smooth. Each gear feels really precise and engaging. The car came with the Bose stereo, CD player, and a tape player in case you guys have some tapes laying around still. Of course, the flip-up headlights. Some people hate them, some people love them. I love them personally, especially on this car. Okay, let's get this on the road here. Steering's a bit stiff, but it's also very involving. ZR1 kind of had a normal mode where it would shut down half of the 16 fuel injectors and half of the runners, basically in normal mode. The car feels like it's around 280 horsepower in normal mode, but with the flick of a switch you have a vacuum pump that opens up the secondary butterflies and activates the other 8 fuel injectors. So yeah, then you've got a total of 16 runners and 16 fuel injectors. Now, coming from a few C4s myself, ranging from 84 to 90, this car just feels all around more expensive. Not as many creaks and rattles, definitely more solid. I mean, it's got 300 something size tires in the back. It feels a lot better. It feels like an expensive car. In my opinion, it's such a car for the money. I mean, they cost, for a nice one, you can get into one for about $25,000 or $30,000 nowadays, which to me is a bargain just all around for what you get. And when you put it in full mode, you definitely know it's alive. This is normal mode. Gonna let it warm up a little bit before I get into it at all. And want to thank my dad for letting me do this video. He sure loves the car. My dad is 74. He loves the car. The only complaint he has is getting in and out of it. I'm sure some of you C4 owners can relate. You kind of fall in and have to climb out, but once you're in, it's such a nice place to be. For the time, the interior, I would say, is pretty good quality. It's comfortable. I mean, surprisingly, it rides nice. The ZR1's had the adjustable suspension. We kind of just keep it in sport mode. Feels like the nicest compromise between, you know, a fully stiff ride and like a touring type softer ride. Oh, the traffic around here is pretty bad. Really good. That's just normal mode. Such a pleasure to drive. It really is. I can't say that enough. I mean, in 1990, this was one of the fastest cars around. A bargain then, and definitely a bargain today for what you get. And I have to say it, the handling is it's just awesome on this car. I think that would shock some people if you've driven a normal C4 compared to this. I'd say that's one of the biggest differences. Now on this car, all we've got a K&N filter, just a muffler delete with the rectangular stainless steel LT1 type tips. We've got the high back chip, which is an excellent chip in my opinion. It makes the car run cooler, you know, turns on your fan on-off temperature a little bit lower. Definitely a substantial power increase from that, and that's about it. We've done the coolant bypass on the throttle body, which seemed to help a little bit, and the thing gets decent gas mileage, surprisingly. If you just keep it in normal mode and just keep your foot off the gas, I'd say it gets about, I mean, we get about 26, 27 miles to the gallon. I mean, for a car now putting out, I'd say well over 400 horsepower, I think that's impressive, especially for 1990 technology. Oh yeah, just going on a back road here. About 20 years ago, I went to a car dealership. I drove a 92 RS Camaro, 305 automatic. I was a young kid, about 20 years old. Well, that's a young kid to me now. But I saw just a base model 1990 Corvette, the red on red with the sports seats, and I just fell in love. To me, at that age and that time, this car, like, these cars were spaceships. I never thought one day I'd get to drive one of these. I know there's a lot more expensive and exotic cars. This is just one of my personal favorites here. Yeah, such a neat car. They sound kind of different too. It has a little hint of maybe an exotic sound because of the 4 camshafts, 32 valve. Pretty much factory exhaust with the exception of muffler delete. We're going to put it in full power mode here. Just do a quick acceleration shot here. This is my dad's car, so I'm not going to hammer on it. No flat spots in the torque curve either. I mean, it just basically pulls just as hard from launch all the way to red line, which is about $7 grand in this car. Okay, let's have a little bit of fun on the back road. Woo! Yeah, they run good. They really run good. A lot of fun, a lot of fun, a lot of car for the price. Can't say enough about it. So that was when I just eased into it. I mean, if Dad would really stomp it down, I mean, it goes sideways when he hits third gear. Even with those wide sticky nittos in the back, it's pretty impressive. And then all you got to do is just switch it off full power mode and you're back kind of in the economical mode again. I mean, the car has the bells and whistles too. It's got working cruise control, air conditioning, I mean, dual power seats, power mirrors. Of course, like all the C4s, it's got the Targa top, kind of like a convertible. And I like how in 1990 they kind of did a three-tone interior. Like this one, you got red, you got black, you've got silver accents, and I like how the gauges and all the buttons have like the orange color on it. It just looks cool. It really does. And the car's comfortable. I mean, this is something you could take on a trip, I mean, and be comfortable for a while. I'm 6'1". I fit in the car very comfortably. I recommend the sport seats if you're a taller guy, just my opinion. There's more kind of maneuverability angles and everything like that, more ways the seat can be adjusted for a taller guy. It can go straight up or down, it can go back, more maneuverable. So I can't get comfortable with the Corvettes with the standard seats. So yeah, if you're a taller guy, definitely go for the sport seats. I mean, maintenance isn't too bad on this. Most of it's just like a regular C4. You've got your suspension points that you grease. The oil change, the oil filter's right on top. You've got one drain plug. We run Mobil 1 full synthetic in this. Of course, run 93 octane. Now, here's a big one for these cars. The fuel injectors, they were not meant for ethanol. And there are 16 of them in this car. I would say nowadays, now the Shell sells the 93 V-Power, I'm sure some of you have heard of. Most gasolines are 10% ethanol. The Shell V-Power is only 5%. Dad has only run that in this car, and we have had zero injector problems. Zero. So it's definitely a good idea there for some of you guys out there that haven't replaced your injectors on these older cars. Shell V-Power, 5% ethanol. Your injectors should last a long time. We've had no problems out of this. Because I know they are not cheap, especially for 16. So yeah, easy to wash, easy to maintain. The 17-inch tires won't kill you, although you are limited on certain brands now that the car is getting older. Yeah, we're running the Nitto NT05s on this. One complaint I would have personally, and that might just be because of the age of the car or the brake fluid, we still need to flush it out. The brakes are good, but you have to put a considerable amount of brake pressure on the pedal to get it stopped. So we were thinking maybe some stainless steel brake lines, with some upgraded .3 fluid, and that should help. So that's it, YouTube. Yeah, I appreciate everybody listening. If you like the video, like and subscribe. If there's any modifications you'd like to see Dad and I do to the car, or if there's any questions, feel free to comment below. And that's it. Thanks.